This is Carmel Bear, and you're listening to the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix.
It is Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. It is a beautiful twilight holiday evening. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix podcast. I am one of your lovely hostesses, the Garlic Johnson. We are joined, as almost always, by the Joshua Mitchell. Josh, say hi to the folks out there.
Hi, folks.
Nailed it. We appreciate all the people who chat with us in the Discord. Fantasy playoffs are here, so it'll be an exciting time for all. Segment start times are down in the description below. And thank you at Levi Oki Illustrations for all the beautiful art the people can see. Josh, how you doing?
Oh, they're in. How are you, Gar?
You know, I'm doing all right. I missed my first podcast ever. I went on a 129 podcast streak, and then I missed podcast 130 because I had something very important to do. And you were not available Saturday morning, and I figure, you had to keep missing them, so I'd go ahead and miss one. Not that I guess you would have been mad at me if I just did it with Walters Saturday morning, but I opted to go my own way, and you did it with Walters on Saturday evening instead. How was that? How was it working with Walters?
He's not here, right? So you can edit this out later?
Oh, I'll for sure edit out later. Guaranteed. Pinky promise.
No, it was actually pretty good. It went well. I thought he did a great job. So edit that part out.
Wait, you want to edit that part out? Okay.
Yeah, it was trash.
Oh, yeah. Fuck that Walters guy. We hate that, right, dude?
No, that was good. I mean, we went through some things. I guess I didn't. I gave him a bit of a hard time because you guys ruined our solid pick'ems.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was embarrassed to see that. But we came in, and I'm pretty sure that him and I came through and kind of turned that ship around. So I think by process of elimination, we figured out the problem.
What's the problem? Me or Walters? Just to be clear.
Anybody not named me.
There we go. I did notice that the last two, so Walters has been on the Saturday Bod 2 weeks in a row, and also in those 2 weeks, he has done absolutely terrible on the FanDuel, which is almost ironic because he's been so good all year. But we'll talk about the FanDuel a bit later. But overall, you think the Walters show was good? I know I gave you crap for doing the bare minimum effort, or saying you don't believe in effort, and then you said I believe in the bare minimum. So do you feel like you put forth the bare minimum on Saturday, or do you feel like you had to carry Walters?
Yeah, no, this is. I think that we did a good. I think it was a good kind of give and take. There were times where I took over, but he did fine with filling in your role. Like I said, if I close my eyes, it's as if I was actually talking to you.
Our voices are identical.
It's not just that, but your mannerisms. I mean, you both lean the same direction politically.
And yeah, basically identical twins, dude.
Both have similar personalities, similar facial features, facial hairs, and about the same athleticisms.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. You've never been more right in your life. How's the family doing? I don't know if you got the how you doing from obviously people who listen care about you and your family life and this and that. Or have we gotten over the season of sickness, or how's the family doing?
Well, just an update that the family's doing okay. We're doing a little bit better. Asher had we had brought him in. He needs to get his adenoids taken out, which is another kind of common thing for infants, or I guess it's somewhat common, but it's basically where they remove a gland or something from his chest because it's causing his congestion and snoring and stuff, light snoring, baby snoring. So you can kind of go, oh,
no jackhammer, no Brian Nielsen in the other room.
Yeah. It's before it becomes one of those, oh boy, they're gonna need one of them PAP machines, and yeah, it's just a soft snore. But yeah, so that's going. So we need to figure out that, and then he got some upgraded drops for his ears because his ear infections have been bad, and so Nikita said that they had to use a tube sucker to pull out some of the gunk, and it was just like Shrek, the scene.
Oh yeah, makes his own candle, dude.
Yeah. No, Asher just about put Bed Bath & Beyond out of business. So.
Disgust. Did you burn it and smell it? What was the scent?
I wasn't there, so I didn't get to do it. And I'm pretty sure if we brought it home, Odin would probably just eat it. So.
Dogs are stupid. All right, well, I'm glad to hear the family's doing better. And you ready to hop into it, pal?
Yeah. And if I am a little bit out of it, I'm seepy. So we may be doing well, but Asher's teeth are deciding, you know what? I'm really craving
the
steak,
time.
so I'm going to start coming out. Yep.
Yeah, the canines in full force. Give me the fucking meat, Dad. All right, we'll get you out of here as quick as we can. Then we'll move on in honor of Walters helping us out the last couple weeks. I'll give him another grinding Gar's gears this week. You know who's really fucking grinded my gears, Josh?
Who?
You nailed it. Great cue. Great response. Coaches who survive on fucking kneecap diets. Is that keto? Is that kosher? Who is Dan Campbell disrespecting? MCDC, fuck this guy, fuck that culture, fuck the Detroit Lions. Nah, I'm not actually that mad. But, it's a tough way to lose a game. It seemed like everything that could go right for the Lions did, and they just played a really sound game. Good, they were well prepared. We had no answers for him. But also, fuck you, Dan Campbell. I believed in you even when you guys were like 1-6 or whatever it was, because I had watched Hard Knocks. I had saw the culture you were building, and now you're going to throw it back in my face like that? Fuck you, and go eat someone else's kneecaps, pal. Not me. Not ours. I believed from the beginning. So, let's not do that to your Viking brothers. They're over there, MCDC. But yeah, fuck Dan Campbell. He's grinding Gar's gears for kicking our ass.
Yeah.
All right, that was kind of a rant.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, rant and a rave. You just kind of combine that in there.
Pretty much. How do you feel about the pack did? Oh, you guys had a bye, right? You guys are praying for Thursday night, is that correct? You need the Seahawks to lose?
I mean, it helps. I'm pretty sure that there's a scenario where they could win and we could still make it somehow. We just have to win out. Unless I misread one of the posts earlier, because really our big competition is the two tying dingleberries in the East. When they, the Giants and the Redskins, when they tied.
Whoa! You're canceled.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just, I like to stay true to my roots. So.
Your roots? Do you want to unpack that a little bit more?
No.
Okay.
So the communists and the Giants, when they tied, it really threw a wrench in Green Bay's plans of sneaking in backwards to the playoffs. But whatever.
I mean, I guess I was going to cut you off just for a second because obviously the Packers have been pretty dominant for a long time, and it won't be the first time you guys have missed the playoffs in the last decade from injuries or other things like that. But I don't know what the exact scenario is, but I do know you guys don't control your own destiny. It's not like you win out and you're in. You do need some help along the way. So I guess how does that feel as a Packers fan? Because it's not like Aaron Rodgers is, his thumb's broken or whatever, but it's not the classic where Aaron Rodgers is out for the season and so the season's lost. Aaron Rodgers has been playing. So how does that feel for you going through this, what feels like a transition period for the Packers?
Well, as a glass quarter empty kind of guy, or quarter full, on its way empty, I've always seen the downturn. And yes, I still think he's playing okay football. Is he back-to-back MVP? Technically, yes. Is he playing like he
technically yes.
Just had an MVP season? Not necessarily.
Technically,
not every play.
No.
But he does have, like you mentioned, the broken thumb, the ayahuasca eyes. I don't know if you've read up on that side effect, but it's pretty gruesome. Don't dig into it too deep, though. Don't fact check me.
I would never. We don't do that here.
Yeah. But no, I mean, overall, yeah, it stinks. It's not fun to watch. It's I've watching this bad defense, watching struggles on offense. I just I go, oh boy. If this is what it's like to be in Chicago, no wonder there's such a nasty individual group of people, because being bad on both sides of the ball this long, gross. It's only been 14 weeks for me.
Right. All right, well, I was just curious what you thought there. Not necessarily a rant or a rave, but just, this is kind of where we talk about that kind of stuff. For the Vikings, obviously, you posted the meme. I saw the same thing. I've been talking about the Vikings and sustainability for a while. We have a negative point differential as a 10-3 team. And I don't know if it was the 07 Giants or the 11 Giants or whichever Eli Manning team. He has 2 rings. One of those rings, they barely made it to the playoffs. They were like 9-7. They were a really rough-looking team. And then they went on to win the Super Bowl and beat Tom Brady. So,
pretty sure that was a 2011, because that's the year that the Packers were 15-1 and got stomped by him in the divisional round.
All right, well, there we go. See, so all I'm saying is, so you're saying there's a chance. All right, I don't care if our point differential's negative. Even though I say the Vikings are frauds and what we're doing is unsustainable, we're gonna make the playoffs. Like, that's not a question at this point. Like, we're pretty much already in.
Pretty much, Gar. You haven't locked it down.
We haven't locked the division, but even if we were to somehow lose the division in miraculous fashion, I feel like we should be able to make the wild card, as I understand it. So.
Honestly, if you guys lost the division at this point in the season,
it'd be very impressive, wouldn't it?
I would.
Vikings thing.
Yeah, no, that's where I get just a tattoo of Paul Allen crying on my chest.
I told you, Josh, we're the best jobbers in the league. We're here to put over the Lions. Maybe we lose out and the Lions win the division, and then we get the wild card and we play in Ford Field or at Ford Field, week 1 of the playoffs, and we lose to them. That could be a scenario, Josh. Vikings are here to put over other teams. We're not here to win the belt ourselves, Anyways.
Good.
So you're saying, the Vikes will make the playoffs. What we're doing is unsustainable, but all you need to do is get into the dance, and then anything's happening from there. Do I think we're Super Bowl champs? Absolutely not. I've held firm on that from the beginning, but it doesn't mean it's not possible. We could still go on a run here. So I'm cheering for the Vikes, but my hopes are not high. Let's move into the weekly recap here, Josh. How salty are you this week, pal? Going, last week of the regular season for almost every league out there.
Oh, let's just say my teams were taking an early bye.
Oh no!
For playoffs.
Did they earn it?
No. Well, I made the playoffs in every league, so I will say that.
So it's like you clinched your own division. You're like, all right, I can't get a better seed here, so let's just.
Pretty much. There were a couple of them that I could have gotten. I guess I didn't control my destiny for getting the seeds other than the Dynasty League, but we'll talk about that later.
Sure.
But I went 1-5 this week, so one of my it was my worst week of the regular season.
Brother.
So a lot of my guys underperformed. I scored more in a standard scoring than I did in our Hidden Oaks League. That's just how bad that team played this past. And so it was just kind of like a what could go wrong would go wrong type situation. So, but like I said, I made it in playoffs in all my leagues. After starting off 6-1 and butt, sweat, and beers, finishing at 8-6, and just barely sneaking in the 6th seed is kind of like I'll see you. I'll see you from the sidelines on week 16, guys.
Nice.
But deflate these balls. I popped some champagne. It's like our 7th year of that league, and this is my first time making the playoffs. And I had Todd Gurley through his prime. I had DeAndre Hopkins early on when he was in his prime.
Right.
So I'm pretty happy about making the playoffs in that league, only to get beat because my running backs are all hurt.
It looks like you made the playoffs in every league, though. At least all the leagues you're counting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leagues. Does that feel pretty good? Make the playoffs in all of them? We talked about the yo-yo thing. You're having a good year.
Yeah, no, I'll take it. Overall in the regular season, finished 53-31 for a 63% win. And if we look at the intellectual property of Joshua Allen Bunker Incorporated, I finished with 500 wins, 270 losses, so 65 approximately win percent. So this last week I was like, I feel like I outscored a lot of teams, and sure enough, when I did the math, 32-23, so I did have a much better record against everybody than I did overall. And if we were to eliminate the Hidden Oaks Redraft League that I already talked about, it would have been 31-11. So, yeah.
But imagine that. You take out 12 losses, then you have less losses. Isn't that crazy?
Right? Well, one less win guard. Got to keep that in mind.
So you made the playoffs in all the leagues, even if you limped into a couple of them right at the end there. Same deal with, I'm talking about the Vikings here. All you need is a chance. All you need now is 3 lucky weeks, right? 3 lucky games and you're champion in 5 leagues. So it doesn't matter whether you're limping in or you're marching in. Now that you're in the dance, all you need is a couple balls to bounce your way and you're in. Anything else you want to say about you, or otherwise I'm ready?
No, I'm good. You can go on ahead, Gar. How are you looking?
Well, this week, so the Champions Branch Out League already started its playoffs, and I won there. Shout out, sorry, JWoww. He started John Wolford, and that was a big nothing burger, so that's tough for JWoww. But I didn't count that one because I'm already in the playoffs. So I went 3-3 this week. Lost in the 2 most expensive leagues, but in the second most expensive league, I went 4-10. Absolutely garbage. Made the playoffs in my most expensive league, 8-6. I don't think I'll go much further than that. Hopefully I can get 3rd place and get my money back or whatever the case is. So I'll be getting pretty close to breaking even. Hopefully we'll pray about it. But then deflate these balls have been good all year. 10-4, got the 3rd seed. Champs Branch Out, I just said I was in the 5th seed. I won my first matchup against JWoww, and the BSB has been my other team that's been pretty good this year. Went 10-4, good for the 4th place seed. So out of the 6 leagues I'm counting, I made the playoffs in 4 of them, and if you've been paying attention, that's pretty miraculous. So you see there's a lot of green there. I guess only Josh can see that. A lot of green there at the end to help me make a playoff push. Overall, in my head-to-head matchups, I went 59-51, so I just broke 5-6-3 there for winning percentage. I'm still alive in Brad's Guillotine League, and we're 1 week away from the championships there. Using the intellectual property of Josh Allen Bunker Incorporated, I couldn't quite get up to 500 there. I did make a strong push at the end here, but I ended up going 571 wins against 579 losses, so literally just 8 wins away from breaking even. So that's good for a 497 winning percentage, 49.65% winning percentage. We got so close to breaking even there, Josh. So we had a strong push at the end there, made the playoffs in 4 leagues. Don't think I'll win much money, but it's nice to get in the dance. Even if I can get just a couple second places here, added with winning Easton's pick'em pool months, I might break even for the fantasy year. What do you think? You think you'll be in the black here? Or do you think you'll be more so breaking even?
Well, if we consider all of the sleeper over-unders, probably going to be in the black, even if I win championship in all of the leagues.
By the black, you mean black is good. Being in the red is losing money.
Being in the red,
is
sorry.
Good. Yeah, no, you're good.
Well, it's so red, it's black. It's dryad blood.
Oh, brag about it.
No, it's we'll see. It would be nice to get a couple wins here. I see, sleeper I think that they were on to me last year. I had a solid year last year. Made some money, lost all that money now, but now it's just like, you know what? This kid, we're just going to mess with him. So it's like, all right, so Ramondre Stevenson, you're going to hurt your ankle. You're not going to get any receiving yards that you usually get. DeAndre Hopkins, you're going to get yours, so he's going to go 1 for 2. Loser. They've just been doing that all day. It seems like I'm 1 away on a bunch of 5 spots. Then I try to go down to a 2 spot, and I'm still 1 away. And it's just like, you know what? Screw you, game. I quit. And then I'm back again Thursday.
There you go. All right, beautiful. So glad to hear we both have some playoff chances. You're feeling better about yours than I'm about mine. You want to go ahead and run through the FanDuel Hood Play Along top 3 for us here, pal?
Yeah, so coming in, top 3 fantasy points of the week. Evan Ingram coming out of nowhere, showing everybody why he is Evan Ingram with 33.7 points. Trevor Lawrence, the guy throwing him the rock, put up 33.52. And then Jalen Hurts with 30.38. So 2 quarterbacks and a tight end. Sounds like a very, very adult film right there.
All right.
Top 3 values, we've got Evan Ingram, 6.6. Jerick McKinnon, who had like 115 receiving yards and like 3 rushing yards, which is kind of funny. His was 5.4 times. And then Lawrence with 4.6 times value. Top 3 weekly totals, Cody, 58 with 134. Nikita Mitchell, 21 with 132.9. Thank you, Jerry Judy. And then Jack Mahoff with 132.7. Top 3 leaderboard, Nikita.
What?
296.34. Garbanzo Bested Beans, 1287.18. And then Mahoff, 2017, with 1,284. It also looks like there's a little bit of controversially where Lolo, week 1 was on a different account, and they're currently at 1283.62. Wrong. Cheaters. They're at 1,000.
I called it out in the Discord pretty much as it happened at the beginning of the season. So just wanted to remind people that's a thing, because I feel like I would owe it to them, even if that isn't how it displays on the leaderboard. So it's just something to monitor. Still, obviously, 4 weeks left of that? 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 4 more, or 15, 16, 17, yeah, 4 more weeks. Jesus, numbers are hard sometimes. But I mean, how does the household feel? Nikita has now taken herself into first place after I spent some time building her up last week. How's Nikita feeling? Is she, have you noticed a bit of a bulge in her pants?
No. But she was so it's kind of funny, and I've pointed this out where this podcast is probably the worst thing for the FanDuel play along, just because, like you said, Walters has been on here. He's had 2 bad weeks. We're on here. We have bad weeks all the time, it seems.
I exclusively had bad weeks. What do you mean?
Yeah, me too. But it's just like, okay, so maybe it's not, maybe it's me. And so the past few weeks, she's been in the top 3 for, quite a few weeks. But earlier in the season, she'd go, "What do you know about so and so's defense?" And I'd just go, "Oh, they're okay. They're pretty good. They're bad." And so after she started like winning, it really happened, midway through the season when she like picked up the phone at 11:50 and then set her lineup.
Yeah.
Didn't talk, didn't do anything. So now I'm just saying, you know what? When you're setting your FanDuel lineup, don't look at me. Don't speak. Don't do anything. Because if I have any sort of hint of reaction, whoever you're looking at when you push submit and you ask me something, if I react even in the slightest, 0. So that's kind of
tough.
Yeah. So and the past 4 or 5 weeks in a row, I think she's been, well, at least the times that she's been top 3, I literally tell her at 11:50 on Sunday. Now's probably the time to do your FanDuel if you haven't. Oh crap!
I mean, sometimes not thinking about it's the best, right? Because when Walter, going back to Walters, for example, an example, like he's probably, when he's putting all this extra podcast thought into it, he might be overthinking a bit, or he's trying to outsmart himself. It's like, okay, now everyone thinks I'm so good because I am very intentionally building Walters up. I think it's a great bit, just because he has been doing so well this year. But then it's like, all right, Walters, you're fucking amazing. Tell the people what to do, and then either maybe he overthinks it or he tries to outsmart himself, or there's definitely value to, just like when Justin Herbert got his first start. Like it was supposed to be Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor gets stabbed in the fucking lung right before the game, and Justin Herbert had no plans of starting. It's all of a sudden like, hey buddy, you're starting, and he had a good game, and he's never looked back. So he was obviously the future starter no matter what, but he played so loose that first game just because he was just like, all right, we're just doing it. We're just reacting. We're just setting lineups. It's no big deal. So I like that. But big shout out to Nikita. Nikita, you deserve all the love. Still 4 weeks left. A couple players nipping at your heels here within 10 to 12 points. So we wish you the best. But for right now, Nikita's on top of leaderboard, so let's make sure we celebrate that, eh? That was actually the sound of Nikita celebrating when she saw the leaderboard this week. All right, Josh, you want to tee me up for the Hoodlines here, pal?
Hoodlines. Brought to us by Skybuster.
Ooh, almost too quiet that your mic didn't even pick it up, but that was close. All right, here we go.
Go!
Tonight, Hammer swings big and busts the sky. Defending champ pushed out of the playoffs, going out with a whimper. In other news, Mr. Landvik makes a triumphant push running up that hill and is rewarded with a bye week to rest. Moving on, newly married Duluth drunk doesn't even set lineup and lets beefy corrections officer secure seed number 5. After that, a handsome numbers man adds up all season and gets rewarded monetarily, while Willie is fat-shamed and money is thrown at his feet in pity. And finally, Mr. Cooper is seen hanging with Sex-Zay Mrs. Jones and wins some flexual ceiling of missing the playoffs. All that and more right now. Hoodlines. Thank you, Skybusters. All right, Josh, redraft league. How you feeling? We'll get more into it on Saturday because we want to get out of here on time. But how do we feel? You're in the playoffs. Defending champ misses it. Jeremy wins the last side bet. How do you feel?
Well, prior to week 12, I would have said I'm pretty solid. But now it's just like, I don't stand a chance. Because, well, 2 of my top running backs have, I think in the past 3 weeks combined, have scored maybe 6 points.
All right. To this bit. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
I'm really banking on just, Devontae Adams getting 25 targets a game, CeeDee Lamb getting 25 targets a game, DeAndre Hopkins getting 25 targets a game, and then anybody other than Foster Moreau playing tight end for me because he stinks.
Yeah, isn't that tough, dude? Just wait to sit on Evan Ingram all year, who's going to be an average at best tight end, and then just let him pop off for 30 when it's too late.
Yeah, sorry about that, buddy.
All right, but speaking to this bit.
No, we are not eliminated. I am very calm.
But you're
and we are going to methodically come back and win this thing.
Unfortunately, I am eliminated now, but had I been on the Saturday show, of course I would have played that bit. And Josh, I know I texted this to you last night, but I need to let the people know I actually got a lot closer to making the playoffs than maybe I should have. I think I was coming into the week as the 11th seed, I want to say off the top of my head. I don't remember what I was, but I was down there, 10 or 11, something like that. And so here was my scenario to make the playoffs, okay? I needed Brian, Hammer, Jeremy, and Willie all to lose. I needed to outscore Brian by 77.75 points. So I needed 4 other teams to lose, not only their matchup, but also hopefully the median matchup. So they can't beat the median, the league median, and they can't beat their head-to-head matchup. So I needed that to happen for 4 different people, and I needed to outscore Brian by basically 78 points. So fucking Brian beat you by 1 point, but barely. Hammer dominated, which wasn't good for me, but Jeremy lost and Willie lost and Brian lost to the median, and I outscored Brian by 77 points. So I came way in that very obnoxious scenario of making the playoffs. I just think it's cool that I came way closer than, I didn't make it, of course, because both Brian won and Hammer dominated. So I was 2 wins away. But still, it felt pretty cool to come way closer than expected. I needed to outscore Brian by 1 more. If Brian would have scored 1 less point, he would have lost. And then, I would have... Josh, I came a little close there. I almost got a quarter chub watching Evan Ingram score on Sunday.
Yeah, no, you texted me that, and I read it, and I was like, sorry, buddy. I knew it wasn't just down to mine and Brian's matchup. I knew that there was more to it that would have. I was like, I'm sorry, I couldn't have done more to help you out.
Yeah, what the fuck, Josh? Some friend you are, some podcast co-host. All right, but yeah, we'll talk more about the playoff matchups themselves on Saturday. A couple people fighting for the consolation bracket, got money there. Obviously, plenty of people fighting for the ship. Eric gets the bye. Josh is feeling all right, but he's hoping on Justin Fields' return to form. Right? That's pretty much the key to your victory.
Yeah, Justin Fields returned to form.
I assume you're going to play him over Herbert, or do you still even have Herbert?
I do still have Herbert. I had to play Herbert this week because of the bye, but
right.
Herbert was the only one that scored many points. He put up 25 of my 79. Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson, if he actually plays, his ankle's not as bad as it sounds, then hopefully, but who knows?
All right, we'll move on here, Josh. We're the waivers. Is there anyone you're looking to pick up here? You've made the playoffs in every league, pretty much, except for the guillotine leagues, which you've been out of for a while. But, obviously we saw Ramondre get banged up. We saw a bunch of other people get banged up. Kyler Murray out for the rest of the year. T.Y. Hilton signed by Dallas. Any of those names pique your interest? Pierre Strong, Colt McCoy, or T.Y. Hilton? Or are your lineups pretty secure? Will you pick them up just so someone else can't? What are you doing here with the full playoff swing?
I'm looking at the 3 that you listed, and running back is probably my most needed position and like most teams at this point of the year, unless you got one of those guys that came in mid-season and performed strong. But Pierre Strong might be somebody, but in most dynasty leagues and stuff, he's probably on a taxi squad. Colt McCoy, I'm not touching. Funnily enough, quarterback seems to be my strongest position throughout the year. Knock on wood, because now my quarterbacks are going to suck this week.
Yeah.
But across the leagues, Trevor Lawrence has been a top 10 quarterback, or top 6 quarterback in fantasy this year, I think. And then Jalen Hurts, he's a solid starter. I have him in the Hidden Oaks League. And then obviously we talked about Fields, and then Josh Allen. So.
All right. So probably not much waiver wire action. Not even to are you the type of person to try and block other people? Like just let them sit on your bench, or do you feel pretty good about your benches as well?
Well, I blocked some people back when Tua was lighting the world on fire. I ended up getting Tua when I had Josh Allen. He's still on my bench though. As far as other guys, no, because whoever I pick up, they're not going to score, and the other person that they ended up settling for is going to score. So I just kind of let them. I let the other teams kind of pick their own fate. I don't want to play defense and then have my defense actually benefit them.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a big can of what if, right? A big can of what if worms. And for me, I'm not picking up Pierre Strong. I'm not picking up Colt McCoy. What about I guess I don't think you play in any super flex formats at the moment. But if you were, maybe Colt McCoy, or still wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. Like let's say Colt McCoy or Ryan Tannehill.
I'd probably go Colt McCoy just because it's the weapons that he's got. He's got a little bit more of a pass offense. He did fine. I guess I didn't watch the entire game just because it didn't look like a fun one to watch. But overall, I mean, I'd go with him over Tannehill. I'd probably go with him over a couple guys, Davis Mills or whoever's starting down there now.
Sure.
So yeah, I'd if you're desperate, probably go for him. But
all right, appreciate your input. All right, should I assume you're just not going to do an obituary then? You've never met Glenn, and you haven't done obituary in quite a bit. But should I even bother playing the sad music, or just get the outro and get out of here?
We can just hit the outro and get out of here. We can. I mean, Glenn. Nobody misses the 5-hole Herald. Nobody misses the 5-pin. Sorry, I'm thinking hockey for some reason. Gross, Bradley.
What just happened? Did I just witness some sort of?
Isn't this Glenn from the bowling? Nobody misses the 5-pin.
No, that was Gary. No, that was Gary. Glenn's a guy I worked with at Wells Fargo.
Oh, well.
He's also that's Garbanzo Bestmean. He's been in the pod play along for a bit as well.
Well, Nikita, congrats. Glenn's not going to pass you. He's dead.
Nikita's been dead for a while. All right, I'm gonna put in my request right now, though. All right, so right now the final four of the Guillotine League, we all saw it coming. It's me, obviously. We've got Al, who I think was a strong competitor coming into the Guillotine. We've got Jeremy, who's he's surprised plenty of people with his fantasy prowess so far. And then we all saw him coming. Josh somehow stumbled his way into the top four. Jesse Morissette. And so 4 people you know very well. We're gonna need an obituary because next week's the last chop. So. Will you pinky promise me right now to have an obituary for whoever gets chopped this last week of Brad's Guillotine, or this next week of Brad's Guillotine?
Yeah, I could start working on Jesse's.
Who knows, dude? It's hard to say.
I mean, he's the kid that put up 49 in a full point PPR league, right?
I mean, he had Aaron Rodgers as a starting quarterback for the week, though, so it's just, he wasn't.
Yeah, no, and DJ Moore was in, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. So, and I did not think Glenn was. I thought it was going to be me, Glenn, and Al as the final 3. If I'm being totally honest, so I did not expect Glenn to die. And if I knew Glenn was going to die, of course I would have spent my money a little bit differently. But we better get out of here, Josh. We're not doing an obituary. I won't even play the sad song. We'll play the normal go to sleep song. So go ahead and hit your Go Packers, Josh.
Go Packers.
All right. See you Saturday at 8 a.m. Everybody. Love you and bye.
And go Packers.
The song again, but just give me another 10 words, por favor.
This is stupid. Why do I got it twice?